All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? We are here for real talk on this lovely Thursday. Got prime video football going on right now, so good luck to everybody trying to figure out that thing. Right before we came on, my boy called me like, yo, how you watch this thing on regular TV? I said,
you don't. Yeah, my homeboy called me the same way. He was like, yo, it's not on regular TV, it's not on Fox or nothing. I'm like, no, not yet. It's too early in the season for it to be on Fox. You either got have NFL Network or you got have Prime.
It's because I went to NFL Network and they have a game.
It's not on there either.
They got this.
It's only on Amazon Prime.
It's only on Amazon Prime.
NFL getting that bag, boy.
They get in the bag, but they messed up on the marketing because I don't think a lot of people knew they needed Amazon Prime. So maybe Amazon subscriptions about to skyrocket as everybody try and rush to get it so they can watch the game. But it's a great game. They going up and down the field. So they got that one right. But we are going to get into it, fellas. A lot of things went on today. Like I sent out the topics and then I had to keep amending them because stuff kept happening. So we'll try and get caught up on everything. I do want to start with, and I know that we're a little bit in, but the game's still close. Who you got tonight? We got the Chargers and the Chiefs. It is currently 10-7. Chargers have the ball, 10 minutes left. But I'll start with you, Kenny. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. The buzz has been about Herbert and like he's been the next great one, and he still got to prove it. So this is supposed to be a year. No excuses, and this is a game that they should win. So I'm going to go with the narrative that he still has something to prove, and the vet and the guy that's already done it is going to say, listen, I'm still that guy. And I'm going with Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Dev, who you got?
Taking the Chargers. As I told y'all before the season started, that I thought the Chargers were going to win the division anyway. I think Justin Herbert is that next wave of quarterback that's going to be considered maybe one of them top elite quarterbacks. And I think the Chargers have better defense. Like I keep telling you, the sign of Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, along with Bosa and Derwin James back there, that's a nice combination that the Chargers have. So I like that defense more than anything. So I think that's going to help Justin Herbert out in the long run. So I got the
Chargers. So somebody's going to be wrong. I'm going Chargers. I'm going Chargers. I think they obviously, like, I picked them to win it all, so I have a lot of faith in them. I think that defense looks good. J.C. Jackson starting tonight. I think that's important. Chargers don't have Keenan Allen. Don't like that. But they've been able to move the ball. But regardless, I was picking them. So we'll see what happens. I agree with you, Dev. I trust their defense more. Definitely in name recognition. But they seem to be playing well so far this year. So I'm giving the Chargers, but I think it's going to be high scoring, and I think it'll be close. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it.
Yeah, I hope so because I got Herbert and Mike Williams and on one of my fantasy teams, so that works for me.
You and this fantasy boy, you be just cheering your fantasy boys on.
Listen, man, my reality stinks right now, so fantasy is what's giving me football life.
I understand. And we'll get to your lack of life, but we did want to celebrate. Take the time to celebrate Roger Federer, who decided today to hang it up. I was pretty excited. Those would be Serena and him were probably my favorite tennis players really through my youth. So to see them go out like a week or two within each other, within one another, while also them both being cool. Like she had a nice post in support of him and his decision. So I thought it was poetic that they both are kind of going out at the same time. So they want to give him his respect as one of the greats of our era, along with Nadal and Djokovic. But he was definitely one of them ones. So I wanted to take the time. Y'all watch tennis at all?
Not on the men's side too much.
I understand.
Yeah, I do, but not on the regular.
We all missed out. He was phenomenal. And what he did. But on to less than phenomenal. Dak Prescott is allegedly can be back as early as week 6. It is now being reported, and that seems risky with him being I don't know. He's kind of struggling a little bit, and if you can't grip the ball and you don't have a lot of people to throw the ball to, that's usually not a good recipe for success. But Kenny, what are your thoughts on kind of the season, Dak's timeline? Should they rush him back, or should they just let it take the time to heal? What are your thoughts?
He should be on IR, and this is just yet another example of our GM making a questionable decision. Like we already saw last year with Russell Wilson, what happened with the same exact injury, and you saw the timeline is already, you see it's right in front of you what you needed to do. Like, and he said he rushed back and he wasn't the same guy. Like, it's right in front of your face. So now you're gonna reinvent the wheel, and now Dak is just gonna get these magical healing powers and a broken thumb is gonna heal in 4 weeks. Just makes no sense. But I feel as GM just doing what he does.
Yeah, I think John, that makes sense. I don't think anybody looks at that team and says Super Bowl contender. And if that's not what you're saying, then what are we doing? You invested all the money in him. Why risk making it worse? Why put him out there not 100%? That's just going to lead to scrutiny. Like there's already reports and rumors that him and CD ain't on the same page. So now you're going to put him out there with a bad hand? Like, I don't know. It also, you don't want to say this, but we're starting to see a pattern with Dak. More and more injuries, more and more random stuff. His physical style of play,
and even more so a reason to be conservative because you have 2 significant injuries in the span of 3 years.
So I don't understand it, but Dev, what you think? We tripping?
I think the Cowboys season is over.
I already said it.
It is over. Like it's not enough backups in the world for the Cowboys to even try to help their season, man. They didn't get no backup quarterback behind that. This is like their second year not having, outside of Andy Dalton a couple of years ago. But other than that, they don't have. They know that right now that like Kenny just said, the last couple of years Dak been hurt, nicked up, dealing with some type of injury, and yet they don't have a backup. The one thing I like to give credit to the Ravens too is that no matter who's our quarterback, the Ravens always had a decent backup, whether it was Tyrod Taylor, whether it's Tyler Huntley now, whether it was RG3, whether it was, somebody that can kind of keep the offense thriving a little bit. It might not be as alive as Lamar, but at least the offense won't change as much. And the Cowboys, won't follow that type of pattern. You know what I mean? They sent Amari Cooper away for a washing machine. They they ain't got no backup quarterback for Dak. They didn't solidify that offensive line to even protect Dak either. So it's just a domino effect that see, Ray was diving in the rough a little bit. It's probably just a little. You just need to polish him up a little bit, but maybe the next couple of years he can be good trade bait. You know what I mean? And Cowboy season over. Sorry, Kenny, man. I know you.
I already said it.
You know what I mean?
You just repeat what I said on Monday. I said it.
I thought it was a little bit faithful, a little bit, but once I seen Dak had to get surgery, I was like, dang, no backup, nobody to keep this offense alive. CeeDee Lamb, as Ray said, is not a true number one. It's just, woof.
Roster is poorly constructed. Who does that fall
on? GM every day of the week.
Who's gonna fire the GM?
That's just like how that.
Who's gonna fire the GM?
That's just like how the Patriots kind of over there dealing with. They got their coach running the GM, and now he ain't make no moves. And then look at the Patriots now. They was, a solidified number 2 in that division. Now it looked like they are number 3.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. But
keep your head up, Kenny.
Yeah,
hey, man.
I mean,
right.
Kenny used to it. What Kenny used to this ain't new.
Well, and you know what though? But I was alive. I mean, essentially, I was alive. I remember when my team won the Super Bowl. I was actually old enough to have watched it and remembered it, unlike somebody else we know.
Kenny, that's just because you old, man.
I was in the 90s. I came out of high school. I graduated in 91.
You remember when we won 1 2. You remember we won 2 of them, probably.
You don't, though.
Hey, it don't change nothing.
You was a toddler drinking a bottle. You don't remember.
A dub is a dub.
A sippy cup.
You can't put the dub. You can't put the dub.
Drinking out a sippy cup.
So he couldn't even like.
What, man? What are we doing here?
Ray, don't run, Ray. Come on, I say, man, don't run, man. Come on. Keep done shots like a man.
My assistant was trying to work on something and it's not working. So,
right.
But you can say whatever you want, whether you've seen it or not, whether you remembered all that fun stuff.
What,
the fact of the matter is, the win is the win. Whenever it happened, it happened. You're talking about who saw it, who remembered. I remember that they got 3. That's all I know. All right.
Do you remember drinking hot chocolate? Was it chocolate milk or was it?
Call that man sippy cup.
Was it
Cup of Champions?
Was chocolate milk?
Cup of Champions. I'll tell you that. The Cup of Champions.
Juicy Juice. What was in that sippy cup?
Championship.
You don't remember.
That's all I know. But we got to get to some.
You got it, John. You got it.
You understand? I'm just spitting facts here. That's all. It's okay.
Hey, the facts are the facts. We got 3. What do you want me to do?
That you don't remember.
Y'all ain't won one since 95.
That you didn't see at all.
How many? You know how often you guys are the favorite since 95? And you know how many times you won the Super Bowl?
So, question. Got one question. We're gonna end it right here. Who has more talented? Who has more rings?
The most talented roster every year. And what do they accomplish?
Who has
nothing?
More
Y'all do.
You didn't answer my question. You're talking through it, but you're not answering my question.
I just said y'all do, but what does that matter?
All right,
y'all haven't won.
There's nothing to talk about.
Y'all haven't won in like 2 generations.
Nothing to
just
talk
like
about.
us.
And we still got more rings than you.
Because you had a good little stretch.
You was in a sippy cup.
You had a good little stretch.
Wiggins in them.
But outside that stretch, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
Where is the popcorn when you need it?
When are y'all going to win again?
It's okay. Hurt people.
When are y'all going to win again? You keep talking about 30 years ago.
It doesn't matter as long
as
you
go back 30 years. What about the
Why we keep going back and forth with this? You were 3 years old the last time the Redskins won a championship.
Anybody that's aware of social media,
he was like,
that was born
pick me. He was like, up,
mommy.
He was like, up.
Mommy.
Y'all haven't seen
it. Breath smelling like
mercy.
It's all right.
Matter of fact, did the Ravens?
My man said Houston was oldest.
The Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Did the Ravens exist?
Dad, do you remember watching your Super Bowl?
How many Super Bowls?
I watched mine.
I watched both of mine.
Did you watch both?
I watched both of mine.
I watched all three of them. How about you? What about you, Ray?
What matters is watching the game. What does that even mean?
What
does that even mean?
Because you don't
watch
the
game happen.
That's what
did the game happen?
Your team.
Did the game happen?
Let's move on. You've never seen your team win a championship.
My man Ray said, "Look, my man Ray said, I never seen anything happen in a history class, but it was part of history."
It's like Rocky with Adrian. You can't win. Let's move on.
Happened.
You can't win. Move on, man.
There's nothing to fight. I can't lose.
It's just sippy cup. Let's move on. Let's move on.
You messed that up.
Three of them things.
Remember that.
Every time I try to move on, you keep bringing up the 30 years ago when y'all was good.
You said remember that, but you don't. You just said remember that. You remember that. You don't.
I'm telling you to remember it because you saw it. You saw the greatness. Put some respect on the greatness that you saw. When we beat y'all.
When?
Super Bowl for us. We got 3 of them.
When did you ever beat us in the Super Bowl? Now you just making stuff up.
We beat y'all to get there because we won and y'all did it.
This ain't going nowhere.
Just put the natural rightful respect on 3 and we can move on. You try to act like we ain't never won nothing. You trying to act like y'all won last year.
All I said was
y'all
you never saw your team
was even
win a Super Bowl. That's all I said. Is that not a fact?
That doesn't matter.
No, answer my question. Is that not a fact?
We've agreed. Okay, but what difference does it make? I've agreed. We've admitted and acknowledged that. It don't change the fact we got 3.
Why were you clowning when you were using a sippy cup when your team won a championship?
Because your team,
you're in the same boat. You're in the same boat.
My team's undefeated. We in first place. I'm in first place. Where are you at?
1-0. We talk about first place.
Now semantics. Are you in last place or not? Are y'all in last place or not?
Can we move on? Because this is silly.
The first place host here will take us to the next topic.
This is silly.
What's that?
Chocolate milk in a sippy cup. Let's move on.
I'm trying, dog.
That's my last point. That's my last point, Dad.
Man.
Shoot the man in the back. Send a walk off.
Robert Sarver, ladies and gentlemen, did not have to leave the building. He did for a year, and then he'll be back. LeBron James, Chris Paul have talked about it, how disappointed they were. The people that were interviewed, a part of that ring, I don't know what you call that, the team, and you know who's supposed to be on this show. Now, I don't know where he at.
Oh, wow.
I ain't say nothing.
Are we going to say names or are we just going to keep on being,
I ain't at J Ness.
Okay.
But Jay, I said it. I've been talking about Arizona teams for months. I've been telling y'all.
There's
something in the water in Arizona. The Cardinals is run like a disaster. The Suns are being run miserably. Should have never gave Chris Paul the money. Should have never gave DeAndre Ayton the money. That's why they'll be bums again.
Hey, damn. Is this not funny to you to hear this from this guy, from Ray? As a Washington fan? Isn't that funny?
Ooh.
Hey, I told him.
I'll let you continue.
Get him out of here.
I'll let you continue.
I told him get him out of here. I can't. That's all I can do. All I can do. Get him out of here. I don't patron that stadium. I don't go there. Sell the team. You heard it here first.
The first place team? You just talking about?
Yeah, that team.
You don't go to the game?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
Very well. So as we were back to the
Are y'all done? Like, is y'all done?
I just don't miss anything. Go ahead, man.
Like, are y'all done, man? Like, y'all get halfway into another segment, and the next thing you know, one of y'all are throwing punches.
No. I haven't thrown one punch. I ain't throwing one punch. I'm counter punching. I'm ducking and dodging the whole time. Because
5 in the weave,
last place, the only guy here with no wins is so upset. It's I don't know when you're gonna get a win, but you're gonna get one at some point.
You heard, hey, that sippy cup hit you. That's what it is. That hit you. I understand.
I don't know.
Hit you, but it's okay.
Maybe they won't win one. Who knows? Tank for whoever's coming. But I did want to just throw it to y'all. I said my piece on the Phoenix situation. It's really disappointing and disturbing. I agree. They got it wrong. The findings of I respect my elders. I do respect them, man. I was raised right.
Just right? For the record, I'm 49 for anybody that's
is that a counter punch or was that your jab right there? I know. I'm because when right. You know what I mean? Because
my dad credit. I was raised right. That ain't a shot at none unless y'all wasn't raised right. You got a guilty conscience.
Hey, you see how the voice raised?
That's why I had to ask, man. It was like, I don't know, man. It's slippery slope with y'all two. So you gotta
simply talking about the Suns at this point and the disaster that they are and how Silver he blew this. The reasoning behind it don't make no sense. It's a kind of slap in the face to me to say that wasn't. I forget what the legal word they were used, but like it wasn't aggressive or something. Like the same thing they said with Miami when they said, "Oh, he was just joking. They didn't really mean it." Like, what are we doing? Hold these owners accountable, and nobody.
That's the thing right there. That's the thing. I don't know what. So, what a year suspension is going to do? What is that going to do? That still ain't going to change the man attitude when he comes back into the following year. You know what I mean? It's like
you have to 17 years. 1 year ain't going to change nothing.
Right. But, you know what I mean? It's either you force him to sell a team or you give him more than 1 year. You know what I mean? Like 1 year. So when they get the 1 year suspension, do they miss the salary? Like, do they not get paid as an owner or like what do this suspension
money?
Okay, so the suspension is
that $10 million. The only thing coming out of his pocket is that $10 million.
Right. So that suspension is pretty much him saying, the league saying you can't be near your team for a whole year. It's like, number one, he's probably barely around. He only comes around probably when it's about to be game time to show off his team, stuff like that. So, him missing a season, I don't think that's really a punishment enough. I just think that's just a slap on the wrist and you just say, hey, all right, don't do it again. bad boy. You know what I mean? Don't do that again. So I really not understanding. Look like what you call him limping, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he hit him low.
But that suspension. I don't. They need to do more of a punishment than just a 1 year suspension. In my opinion.
Can it?
I think he did as much as he had the power to do. I think the problem is that in both with Roger Goodell and with Adam Silver is they work for the owners. They don't have the autonomy to do what they want to do. Like they have to get the owners to all agree on something like that. And the only reason why that they was able to get Sterling out of there, it was because they had 20 years and then something that was so egregious that they had no choice in the matter. Like as bad as this is, I think he went as far as he could before he knew that the rest of the owners were going to shut him down. So I think that's what that's where the issue is that he has limited power in terms of what he can do to the owners, not to the players. He could drop the hammer on them because he is essentially their boss, but he's not the owner's boss. He reports to the owners. They don't report to him. So that's where it's the same thing with the NFL is that he has limited power in terms of what he can do to the owners, and he did as much as he could based on his scope of authority.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. I just don't. I think the difficult part for me now is the same thing with the Deshaun thing. Like, where's the line? Like, I don't see is the line basically audio or video evidence? Because you can't tell me what Sterling did was worse than what he did.
But they had it on tape.
That's my point. Yeah. So the threshold is now just whether we can see it or hear it, because otherwise you can pretty much do whatever you want. We'll hit you with a fine.
Because it was
we'll hit you with a fine, give you a little suspension, but as long as you don't go to jail, you good. Or is it only if you offend certain communities, you good? Because I don't know if this goes the same way if there's other communities targeted, but we will never know. But I was disappointed in the little bit of that, and it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. We actually, John, you are a mind reader because we are coming right here.
Dum, 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 dum.
For what it's worth, I haven't been a Brett Favre fan really ever per se. His style of play didn't necessarily impress me. His on and off again retirement was exhausting. Some of his comments I've heard him say post career, didn't love him. Just not really my cup of tea per se. But recently, he went a whole different direction. And so, Kenny, I'll kind of turn it over to you just because you had a little more insight into it, and then we'll all kind of react based on what we've been able to gather from research and such.
Yeah, well, I hadn't had a chance to read the reports. I just was watching Skip and Shannon talk about it on Undisputed, and from what I understand is that they used government assistance funds to build a volleyball stadium and his daughter for a school that his daughter went to. So it was basically just a case of basically defrauding the government. And, when this happens on the other side where people, misuse government funds or, whether we talk about these PPP loans,
there it is.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's talking about, financial assistance, whether it's EBT, et cetera, things like that, they want to drop the hammer to the fullest extent of the law in those cases. So I want them to keep that same energy with Brett Favre because it makes no sense. Like, you had the money, you could have paid. If you wanted the stadium that bad built for your daughter, you could have paid for that stadium. They'd have named it after you. So I'm not having any sympathy for this guy. I want him prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, I was just reading a little bit and kind of to that last point you were talking about. So the chick, whoever did it, I think Nancy New is the woman who started this scheme. She has pleaded guilty to 13 felony counts related to her role. But according to the report, the volleyball stadium is not part of the state's civil lawsuit, and Favre nor another person, a friend of hers, have been criminally charged. So it seems like
she's taking the fall.
Right. Looks like
they was like, look, I ain't got the money to build the stadium, but I got the money for your commissary. I got you.
That's something.
Golly, boy, Brett Favre, man. He coming out of retirement. He gonna add to now paying Shorty commissary.
And
what he was on, Levi jeans or whatever jeans he was doing, them Wrangler jeans, them commercials.
The copper with him and Jerry Rice throwing to each other.
He better do some more commercials now.
Shut all that down. I want him to lose all them endorsements. I need y'all to, all these companies that was partnering with him, y'all need to walk away from him so he could be held accountable for his actions.
Dang, the Packers should take his name out of Ring of Honor too. Why they at it?
And Dev, that actually gets me to a point, and I'm gonna take off a little bit.
Okay.
Because now I'm reading it, Kenny, and this is kind of nuts. The more I'm starting to learn, and nobody's talking about it. Like, I don't see, where's the 24-hour coverage? Where are all the updates? Where's the expose on outside the lines? Like, I didn't see any of that.
And this is money that was supposedly earmarked for disadvantaged people.
But it goes
77 mil.
Well, I don't know the number.
It says, I just seen John posted something like that.
Yeah, it says in the text messages, it looks like Favre asked the chick, if you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? She told him, no, we never have had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, though. Let's see what happens on Monday, blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of go back and forth for like, they knew what they were doing. States are prohibited from using money from temporary assistance in needy families. Of all the funds that you would take from, you take from the people that probably need it the most.
That's what makes it egregious.
Like, are you that out of touch?
I am the hammer.
And the thing about it is, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but you was willing to do that for $5 million. To you, what are we doing? Like, are you that selfish that you would take from the people that need it the most for not something significant, for a volleyball stadium, a non-money making sport? Like, I could see if it would be for like a football stadium that's going to make money to give scholarships, the money at some point can maybe be redirected back to the community. It just dies at that stadium. Like,
and then I'm not, and that's not even a stadium. This got to be an arena like this, because volleyball is played indoors. Unless we're talking about beach volleyball, they're playing in a gym. So what was you? So was this gym going to be for volleyball and for basketball? Is this just a separate gym or arena just for volleyball? Is that what we're doing?
It looks
So
like
this was just a strictly a volleyball gym.
Yeah, everything I'm reading says it's just for volleyball.
Yeah, so we're building a separate volleyball court on the campus just for his daughter.
Yeah.
Were they like a nationally ranked team? Like, I'm
I
trying
doubt
to
it.
understand.
I doubt it. Because obviously they ain't saying that in the reports. They're gonna try to make it sound like they needed it. They needed that volleyball court that volleyball gym for the needy, for the people that get scholarship.
Right, and I'm keep reading here, and I apologize, but that's I forgot he had the situation where he had to repay the state of Mississippi for the speaking engagements he wasn't doing, and said that he was doing them, and they paid him out for that. So this
man been finessing for a long time,
and apparently he still owes over $200,000 in interest, and they might take him to court.
It sounds like he been talking to Danny Ainge, learn how to try to finesse. Yo said, Danny, how you doing, dog? How you doing?
Hey, he's coming for the crown, the finesse king crown. Goes to Brett Favre.
At least Danny don't get caught. People don't catch on until years later.
This is legal. These is trades. This man taking government money.
But you know what this reminds me of a lot of times that I don't think gets talked about enough of today's athlete. The older generation athletes didn't have to do the social media stuff. If these athletes was getting followed around and getting cameras in their face everywhere they was going, being able to hear the stuff that they've been saying, because Drew Brees got on TV and says himself, Brett Favre, there's been a bunch of them, Joe Theismann and others. Like, I guess they're fortunate, but I don't know if we give today's generation athletes enough credit for living in this hypersensitive, hyper-focused era where everything's recorded. Like, it don't matter where you go. You could be in another country, in another club, inside a club, and somebody will get a picture and a video. But people like this, I hope whatever he had going on, they need to shut that down, because this is ridiculous. But I think we're good on Brett Favre, and then we get to
he ain't gonna be good.
This old non-playoff Micah Parsons.
That's the haymaker. This is a haymaker punch. I don't care what nobody say. This is a haymaker punch.
But I'm the one.
Henny, this is not about you. You guys don't know me that well, not personally. So let me explain something. I'm a pretty loyal guy. I don't trust and like a lot of people. But when I root for people and I like people, I really, really root and like people. I think y'all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Skip and Shannon, I really, really like. I record them every day. I watch them. I am entertained by them. I support them as much as I can.
It's the reason we call you Ray Davis, but continue.
I'll live with that. Me and him disagree on some things, but that's fine for the sake of this discussion. This man, Micah Parsons, gave them his word. By all reports, they set up the studio needed in his home in Texas or wherever he lives. And he don't say nothing. Not only does he not say anything, he ducks Fox Sports.
Hold on, time out. What?
They couldn't get in touch with him.
What you mean? So hold on. So these, because this is starting to sound funny now. Like, my mind is starting to think his own. Did he pull like the? Did y'all watch this episode of 85 Selfs? and Rick Ross was on there.
He did that.
He used the bathroom.
Yeah, he did. Nah, my man didn't even show up on camera, so this is worse.
Yeah, it didn't even get there. Like, and then you on social media. So you got your phone in your hand. You got a team. You got a studio in your house. And you just, oh well. Like, and I like Mike a lot. I think Mike is really, really good.
Did you choose him to be a defensive player of the year?
I did. I said he should have been. I said he was defensive rookie early last year. I said he should have won defensive player of the year up until I think it was TJ Watt just went nuts at the end of the year, and Dallas stopped using him in pass rush and putting him in coverage, so his stats suffered.
Mm-hmm.
But he's dope. Like he's a dog.
Menace. Yeah, he's a menace.
Mm-hmm.
I watched what he just did to Tom Brady. Like he almost changed that entire game himself, and it was the only reason the score was what it was because of him. Because they was in the red zone a ton.
Oh no, the defense kept us in the game because offense was giving us nothing.
So I liked him, but he got to figure this out. I don't like that. And don't do it to Shannon, especially. And then Skip stuck his neck out for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like Skip, but Skip's a good dude by everything I've heard and seen. And I think this was a dope idea with a great opportunity for other people to do it. And it just sets a bad precedent. And you're too early in your career to be doing that. That's just unprofessional. That don't got nothing to do with anything but him. That is on him to figure out a way to answer the phone and be a man. I don't care what kind of Twitter beef you got into. I don't care if y'all lost and only scored 3 points. I don't care if Dak's thumb is broken. You can answer the phone and say, hey, now's not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just a courtesy.
Yeah.
A respect and a courtesy. And to those two people that they've now started advertising and promoting it.
Yeah.
Now they got to come on the show.
He did too. That's what makes it even worse.
So fans is like tuned in, especially, they love Dallas on that show. They talk Dallas half the show. And this is Tuesday, and I love
Dallas everywhere. It's America's team, but go ahead.
I know. You're right. Nah, it is. Them jokers is everywhere. I don't know how or why, but they are. But Kenny is your guy, so I'll go to you first.
You nailed it. It just was unprofessional. It was immature. It was all those things, and it could have been easily taken care of and easily avoided. You could have just simply told them that this week is, considering everything that happened, I don't think we should start this week. Let's start next week. And that would have been that because you got them looking crazy because they're advertising it. They're telling people that this spot is going to happen, and then when the time comes and they don't even know where he is. They don't have no explanation that they could give to the audience and to the people that were ready to tune in. Like, it just makes everybody look bad all the way around. And then, like, the other point is, with Shannon Sharp, that's a former player, man. Like, a Hall of Famer that, you know what I'm saying? So player to player, that type of situation, it's just a bad look all around. So he has to, he's going to have to own this, and he's going to have to make amends for it. And he's got to stand up and hold himself accountable and say that he was unprofessional. And it's, that's not how he should have handled it. And then we can move forward, but you can't just not say anything. That's just a no call, no show. That's just no good.
Yeah. And John did put up his statement, which we can break down in a second because I got some issues with that. But Dev, based on what you've heard so far, your thoughts.
Man, don't invite his ass to no more interviews. Like, that's plain and simple, man. I don't care what stat line. I don't care if he went defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Don't interview him. If he got to do a players press conference and stuff like that, don't show up so he can kind of see how it feels. Like, just imagine, just like y'all said, he had a bang. He could have changed that game in Tampa Bay, him by himself. And just imagine if he did change that game. Everybody would have been, Parsons, Micah Parsons, he's the guy. He should be almost defensive player of the year. Hey, Micah, how did you feel about that game? You sacked Tom Brady 3 or 4 times. How did you feel? You know what I mean? He'd be so amped up to have an interview. Now, if people don't show up, you know what I mean? Who he gonna tell? Now he gotta go home and tell his family, you know, his day, how his game was. So yeah, man, just don't invite him on no more shows. I don't care what his public apology is, because it's like you said, Ray, there's nothing that you could have done. You could have simply text Shannon or text the producer or have your agent tell somebody. You know what I mean? You got so many different ways of communicating to these people that there's no way that you just not show up. This is like they're like that is a bad look. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you win, because like you say, if the Cowboys would have won and they really wanted him on that show, and he really wanted to be on that show, be bragging about how the Cowboys took down, you know, the GOAT. So just don't invite him, you know what I mean? It just don't show him no support, no matter what he do.
So I don't know if I'll go that far because he's young. I think this is a learning experience. He did have more to his statement. I do want to read it before we get into it. As far as people were asking him, as far as him appearing on the show, he said, I got people that handle that type of stuff. If there was a miscommunication on that part, I will correct that. I have nothing but love for Skip and Shannon. I wouldn't just no-show anybody like that. A man is only as good as his word. Cool. That sounds great. But Dev, to your point, if it was a single episode thing, there was like a special one-time season kickoff, whatever, I'm with you. But none of that matters when you signed up for the whole year. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the year? Like, you signed up to do this every Tuesday.
Yeah,
put the studio in your house.
When you win.
Like,
you sign up for a weekly spot, you coming on win or lose.
Right. I mean, I know he didn't think they was going to go undefeated. That's not even how I meant it.
No, that is not how you meant the boy. That was a low blow. That was like right there on that belt line. Yeah, that was right there on that belt line.
Yeah, Mr. Instigator Dev, can you please tell the people
that I am? I'm like the little brother or the middle kid that's keep going back and forth. You know, I'm that guy. I ain't even gonna hold you. There's no shame in my game.
Mike Williams with a nice catch in the corner, one-handed grab.
Let's go.
Touchdown.
Let's go.
Right. Beautiful throw and catch.
Let's go.
By Herbert.
Give me my points, baby. Double up.
Williams. I think I have him in one. I might have Williams in one league. I don't know. I had a couple leagues. No matter. I'm not gonna talk about that. But no, I just it's disappointing. I think there was too many opportunities to fix it. If you say you're a man of your word, stick to your word. Like, there was too many opportunities for you to handle it. And yeah, you do need to correct it, but I'm sure I imagine he has made it right. I would still like to see it. I think it's a good, like I said, I think the idea is good, but I don't know if he's the right fit given the seeming lack of maturity that I've seen displayed. But
yeah, don't put this on your people, because I'm sure they reached out to your people. Like, I don't know, don't make it seem like nobody was.
Man, you got every.
Yeah, I'm sure they were calling everybody and their mama trying to track him down. So yeah,
like, how you gonna promote the show? You got the camera set up in your house, wherever you was doing it at. It was like you knew it. It doesn't matter if it was late schedule. You knew it was happening that day. You know what I mean? So that's why I said it's really no excuse. You can't blame it on nobody else.
Yeah.
If you promoting it,
you can't tell me that his team was getting multiple calls and they was just ignoring it.
He was like, everybody, put your phone on do not disturb.
If you got a team handler, if it's a staff, whether it's a publicist, a manager, agent, I'm sure they were reaching out to all of those people to try to track him down. So come on, nobody's buying that.
So you say your word's important, but you put that out. Like, Come on, man. You gotta. Maybe you need a new team or something because it ain't working. But we're gonna move on to the team on the other coast. Denver Broncos, ladies and gentlemen, look bad. Geno Smith, we was talking about it on the live. I told y'all Geno was out there looking like a Hall of Famer for a half. and then he came back to life, back down to earth. But the names are there. The skill positions seem to be there. The one thing I think everybody had concerns about, and one of my biggest concerns, and why I didn't pick them to win the division or go anywhere, their coach. Seemingly was a hire because they thought they were going to get a quarterback that's for another team. And I didn't see a very good game plan. I didn't see any real adjustments. I didn't see the use or talent of all the receivers you got. Like, I saw bad clock management, penalties. Like, it was just a terrible performance to a team that, by most accounts, was expected to be like the worst team in the league. And they beat y'all and really beat y'all. Like, it could have been worse. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Denver, but I will pass it to you, Dev. What's going on? Was this a blip? Is this a potential look that is this the end of Russell Wilson? Do we need to start having that conversation? What do you think?
I ain't gonna say it's the end of Russell Wilson. This is just when Denver made the trade to get Russell Wilson, I didn't really see an upgrade that Russell Wilson was going through, in my opinion. Because if you look at Seattle, they got two good wide receivers, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. You look at Denver, pretty decent wide receiver, Jared Judy and what's up his name?
Sutton.
Yeah, Courtney Sutton. You know what I mean? You got then you go to the offensive line. You still got Russ running around looking crazy. You know what I mean? Then you go to the deep. Then you go to the running back. They didn't use Melvin Gordon. They barely used the running backs in Seattle. They were just like, Russ, make it happen, please. Then you go to the defensive side. There's no really upscale other than what's his name? Bradley Chubb. That's their pass rusher. That's like the only upgrade.
So they got Surtain at corner.
Oh yeah.
Corners, right?
So their defense is a little bit better than Seattle, but Seattle didn't care. Seattle was like, we know Russ. We didn't dealt with this guy for all these years. We know his weakness. We know we make him roll out to the left. He is no good. His arm ain't strong enough to get it back to the right side of the field. And that's what Seattle kept doing. They was like, blitz that right side, make him roll out, make sure that right side is cut off from him. And
Patrick Mahomes, those are terrible.
And then Nathaniel Hackett, just his experience is going to hurt him. It's going to hurt him the most because that clock management was terrible. You telling me you cannot have your offense just out there scrambling and you trying to yell out plays and nobody, not even you, is on that sideline to say, hey, let's take a timeout, let's regroup or anything. You let the clock just tick away in Seattle favor. So I don't see where's the upgrade for us, coming from Seattle to Denver. And they're gonna be in the bottom of the division, in my opinion.
Talk to say it then, Kenny.
Well, I mean, you got traded to arguably the strongest division in the NFL.
That too. And you just came from like almost the second strongest division.
That's what I'm saying. Like you went I mean, from tough to like, a downright dogfight. Because you could legitimately make a case with three teams. you can make a case for 3 teams that could win that division. And I think, to Dale's point is that I think the one thing is that we got to talk about is we got to give this time in terms of this is a transition. You got a new coach, you got, new quarterback. So I'm sure this is kind of a byproduct of them not all being on the same page yet, them not having a feel for each other in terms of how they're going to game plan, how they're going to, the flow of the offense and things of that nature. Because to me, on that situation there, if Russ, if that's you being the leader, the face of the franchise and the quarterback, you call that timeout. You don't need to look to the sideline. You've been in this league long enough to where you know the situation. Help your coach out and call that timeout. Like, so I can't give him a pass on that. So it's hard for me to see, going forward how this transition is going to be. It's going to be growing pains. So we're gonna have to go through some growing pains, and I think it's going to be a rough start.
I hear you. I don't know. I thought Williams. I like Williams. I like Judy. I like Russ enough.
I didn't like them trading the tight end. I said that when they made the deal. I wish they would have held on to the tight end.
Noah Fant.
I think that hurt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. He's solid. I'm not saying that they was going to win the division. They might have still been in the bottom of the division. Very, very possible. But they shouldn't have lost to Seattle. That's kind of where I'm like, I get time, and we talked about this before with the lack of starters playing in preseason. I didn't understand it then. And we've seen a bunch of teams look really bad on offense.
But you did call that, though. I got to give it to you. You called that, the fact that teams weren't playing in the preseason, that we was going to see some sloppy play in this first week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick update, because I saw John asked, John, they just overturned it. They reviewed it. It hit him right in the chest, but he dropped it. So it was not a turnover after all. But it should have been, because it hit him right in his chest. But it moved when it hit the ground. But yeah, go ahead, Dev.
We still talking about the Seattle and Denver. It's like I spoke my piece on it.
We can go.
Denver is just I think me and Kenny gave Denver like 7 to 8 games in throughout the whole year. On what was that?
All right, y'all remember what y'all saying now. Y'all talking about Russell Wilson. Y'all just okay. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay.
I also say he had the same team in Seattle, and we was like, look at Russell Wilson then.
Now I think that I don't think that I'm not saying that they're going to be terrible. I'm just think that there's going to be transition and growing pains, and they may find their stride over the second half of the season, but then by then it may be too late.
Okay. So now it's time. We want to introduce a segment, and Kenny, definitely glad to have you here. I look forward to your insight and knowledge as we begin to pick some of the more popular games in this upcoming slate. I have my list here of names, so I will be writing down who you have.
I ain't gonna lie, some of these games we can skip.
Which one?
Dang. It's Cowboys.
Does anyone care who wins the Washington and Detroit game?
All right. Damn.
You don't want to see the Kenny? You don't want to see the Commodores?
Oh, you a part of this too? Okay. All right.
She's a brick house, Lionel Richie.
I see how we going there.
I thought that might have been in your age group. Then you might want to, see them.
Hey, I'm a 70s baby. I'm a 70s baby.
Still picking on the young guys. I understand. Can't teach the old dogs new tricks. I understand. Anyway, we got Bucks and Saints. Grandpa Kenny, who you got?
Hey, why you playing? I got godchildren with kids. Technically, I am a grandfather, but what was the game?
I got Bucks and Saints.
Oh, yeah. Now that one is a good one. I want to go with the Bucks. I'm going to go with them kind of righting the ship offensively. I think they struggled a little bit. James struggled in week 1. I think they right the ship offensively. And the other thing is, I just think they have the Bucks' number. They just always seem to really give the Bucks a hard time. And, that pass rush and the issues that Tampa Bay has on that offensive line, I think Tom Brady, we're going to see Tom Brady cussing out his linemen. Because Cam Jordan and the crew will be coming. You could guarantee that. So I just think I'm going with the continued struggles in terms of the Saints having the Bucks number, and I'm going to pick the Saints.
Ooh, picking the Saints. Patty Mahomes boy with the bomb. About a 50-yard touchdown strike, 284 Watson, somebody that nobody has playing in fantasy, so it doesn't really do them a lot of good.
Well, they'll take the Mahomes.
Man, you throwing shots at the player. Like, he ain't got nothing to do with this.
You ain't never heard of 84 Watson on Kansas City. What's his name? Nobody knows.
You're right.
He caught it, though. It was a heck of a play, heck of a throw and catch. But yeah, I'll take the Mahomes touchdown for sure. I'm torn on this Bucks Saints thing. I normally, y'all know, I'm Tom Brady all day, but I don't know if y'all saw the injury report for Tampa Bay. Everybody's on it. Nobody practiced. Mike Evans, Godwin, Brady.
Oh, Fournette. Mike Evans is on there now too.
Mike Evans is on there. Like I should have had it pulled up, but. Like the whole team didn't practice. It's not just there on the report. They didn't practice. And so I don't want to know if Tom's was personal or not, why he didn't practice, but yeah, it was a ton of people. I was trying to see if I could get it really quick, but I can't. But then they're saying Jameis was having back problems. So if he ain't the quarterback, they ain't going nowhere. Him and Mike Thomas did seem to be gaining a rapport with 2 touchdowns, and I like Jarvis in there. But if you watch Undisputed, you learned, and Skip Bayless learned, there's one man you don't bet against, and that man's name is Tom Brady. So I'm going Bucks just because of him. I don't know how. I hope they get healthier throughout this week, but it's not looking great. If Tom Brady don't play, they're definitely losing. But as long as he play, I'm gonna try and hope for the best. Dev, who you got?
I'll take the Saints. I'm just not feeling the Bucks team this year, and I did pick the Saints to take the NFC South.
Oh, y'all.
I understand. Straight to the point. Yep, you the only one that did.
Y'all know what it is.
No, we don't.
No, we do.
If you don't know, if you don't know,
come on,
you better ask somebody.
Hey, listen now. If anybody should be riding for the old man, it's me. But you got the young buck riding for the old man.
Sometimes.
I
say that.
Kanye said
I own up to my instigate.
Is the young. Learn from the young. So I'm happy here to educate. Ray Stradamus here all day for this episode. You heard it here first. So on to the next game. We got Dolphins and Ravens. Dev, who you got?
Should we know who we got? Come on.
Yeah, y'all already know. It's all about that black and purple, Doug. I'm taking them. Never bet against my team. I'll like Kenny right now. My team injury bug is okay. You know what I mean? Quarterback look good. Wide receiver look all right. quarterback need to be paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
right.
but
The price
hey,
going to keep going up.
yeah, yesterday's price ain't gonna be today's price, the next day after that, or anytime. You know what I mean? This price is gonna keep going up. But we already know it's our home.
Well,
It's our opening home game, and we at the bank this week. I'm riding with my boy because everybody keeps saying Lamar look good in that green and teal. I mean, that teal and orange down there and all this other stuff. So he gonna shut that noise up.
Well, he is a Florida boy, so
Man, I don't care about that. He Baltimore
gone.
now. He done moved.
He's
He done moved to
gone.
Baltimore. He did left. Now, I was getting ready to say something. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. I put it in the group chat.
yeah,
Kenny, who
don't
you
get
got?
us knocked off the airwaves. Yeah, I'm going Baltimore as well. I'm still questioning as I'm still not sold on Tua with all of those weapons that he has. And maybe this is fantasy talking again because I guess it gave me nothing last week. So this might be a little fantasy talking, but I just think that, and that was at home, and they still didn't quite look that impressive because I watched a lot of that game because that was one of the games that was locally on here. But yeah, I'm just not sold just yet, and I will say that again with the new weapons and things like that, you got to get the chemistry and time down and all of that good stuff. So I think that's part of it. But then also, I just think Lamar Jackson is on a mission. Like the way he played last week, and granted it is against the Jets. So we got to kind of take it with a grain of salt because they're struggling, they're a struggling team, but he just looked super comfortable. His swag was there. That no-look pass was crazy. So I just think that he's on a mission to prove that you're going to give me this fully guaranteed contract. So, the Ravens going to keep on rolling the dice, and I just think the price is just going to keep going up. And this is going to be another game where he's going to make another statement and not say anything about this contract. You're just going to say my play is going to keep on raising the level of this bag for me. So I got the Ravens.
Okay. I'm going the same. I just think they're the better team. I've never been a Tua fan. Simple for me. Kenny, just to give you an update, Mike Williams is at 8 catches, 113 and a touchdown.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen. What's my man name? 13 for the Chargers.
Keenan Allen.
Just forgot his name. Keenan Allen. Listen, take your time. Listen, don't rush. That's a hamstring injury. Soft tissue. Take your time coming back. You know what I mean? Just make sure that you're healthy. All right? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He must be on your fantasy team too.
No, Mike Williams is. Mike Williams. I got Mike Williams and Herbert. So that I get that double trouble action going on. So I need that to keep cooking.
All right, let's hope.
Stay home.
Let's hope for the best there.
Rest up. Just for your
Rest
fantasy.
up, man. No, you're not about fantasy. This is about his future. Soft tissue injuries, and you can pull that anytime. You gotta take your time.
I ain't hear you tell James Harden. The rest up. I don't want to hear that.
That's because he was faking. He's faking to get out of Brooklyn.
So they say. So that brings us to the next game. And the reason I picked this game is because everybody here, not including me, picked the Colts to win the division. I don't know if any of you guys were impressed by the Colts, but this week they get another division rival, the Jags. As you all know, the Jags came up just a little short to the undefeated first place Washington Commanders. Personally, I can't knock them for losing to the Commanders. Commanders are a good team, solid team that was, by money accounts, most likely win the Super Bowl if they get a quarterback. So
you couldn't even say that with a straight face.
That's why I put my head down. I was like, why would you say that? Like, like when it touched the front of your brain, I know you was like, don't say it, don't say it.
It just came. But I thought they looked all right. I think they actually should have won the game, to be honest. ETN dropped a touchdown. They missed a lot of opportunities. That could be either a sign of just lack of talent and cognitive ability, or it could have just been first game jitters. I'm going to lean on first game jitters. They ran the ball relatively well. Christian Kirk actually had a really big game. Nobody really talked about it. But he did have a pretty big game. So I think they're a better team. John, thanks. But I'm going
to
got some of that yak in there. Got some of that yak in there.
I got the Jags going, getting it done, and the Colts going 0-2. Dev, who you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet again and take the Colts. I think they're gonna learn from their mistake. I think they realize they should not have a tie with Texas. You know what I mean? They like you said, it was part of that first game jitters and probably sloppy play because I didn't really pay attention to the Colts and Texans game, but I don't see them having a repeat. I think Matt Ryan needs to go ahead and solidify his name to be something. You know, he's not an elite quarterback or nothing like that, but the coach believed in this old quarterback play, and I take the Colts. I think the Jaguars still young, still got some growing up to do.
And let me tell you this: if this team ain't that good, they better apologize to Carson because they dogged Carson when they ain't get it done, and they ain't look good. So
no, they didn't. I think Carson at least beat the Texans last year, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I just saw a report where the minority owner of the Suns is asking for the Sarver to resign.
Ooh.
So we got to stay tuned on that. More to come.
I was told he's
have
like
some more developments.
I was told he's like the chairman, so he actually only owns like 33%. He's not like a
he's the vice chairman. Yeah, vice chairman and minority owner. So could be interesting.
I know a guy, but
yeah, we know who you want to get that team. Easy.
Hey, I think it'd be better for them. Better than this guy. This guy's trash. And Kenny had. Did you have Colts, Kenny?
No, I'm gonna pick the Colts as well because you can't go back-to-back weeks and struggle with the basically the two bottom teams in the division, and you haven't even played the Titans yet. So I think they right the ship and they get it back right and they beat the Jaguars.
John, I don't know why or how you got some Giants talking here, but don't be deceived.
A Giants fan.
Don't be deceived. The Giants are not good, and Daniel Jones is not going to. That man's trash.
Let him have.
Y'all better get hurt because if Saquon go down. I hope, man. I don't know when we play y'all, but if Saquon ain't there, thank God, because he looked amazing. But the rest of that team, all right, I'm done. We can go to the next game. I'm positive. Y'all know what it is, and if y'all know what's right, y'all do what's right. The Washington Commanders played the Detroit Lions. I like Detroit a lot. I like DeAndre Swift a lot, and I'm really starting to like. I can't think of the guy's name. I'm looking at his face. Their coach, Dan Campbell, is winning me over.
Oh yeah, Dan Campbell. Yeah.
His antics were a little extra. His antics were a lot at first, but they turned it around. They got some talent on that team. I think that they'll get there. I just don't think they're ready just yet. Not ready for prime time. That Washington pass rush finally looked like it was rounding into shape, came to fruition. Had Trevor on the run quite a bit. We did pretty decent against the run. A dynamic running back like Etienne, we handled him pretty well. Antonio Gibson did not fumble. Thank God for that. And he actually played pretty well. Washington had quite a few players that had a good fantasy weeks. John Dotson had 2 touchdowns. Terry had a bomb touchdown, and then Gibson had a bunch of catches and some yards as well. So solid fantasy week for people. Some nuggets there, something you might not have known. Target some of those commanders in fantasy this week. But I got commanders. Dev, who you got?
I got the Commodores. I'm gonna go ahead and take them. I think y'all gonna put on a good show. I think the lead singer's gonna show up. Say no, I got the Commanders. I'm gonna give y'all your respect. Y'all want to know, so I'm gonna go ahead crown the week 1 champ. Go ahead and give it to him.
Hey, now who's firing shots now?
He gonna keep and we're gonna send the Uber to bring a quarterback down to 95 since they don't want to pay nobody. Because we're paying.
Y'all ain't got one. Who y'all gonna send?
Y'all don't either for long term. Your quarterback, your future ain't on the roster according to your management. So what you mean?
Hold on.
We both got quarterbacks on 1-year deals. Both our quarterbacks on 1-year deals. Your quarterback.
Yeah, but our quarterback gonna get a long-term deal. Is y'all quarterback gonna get a long-term deal? Somewhere else.
Your quarterback gonna get one. Are y'all gonna give it to him? That's the question.
We're gonna be the one that give it to him.
Okay.
We already restructuring people contracts like Ronnie Stanley and stuff like that. So we trying to make a little bit of wiggle room for him. We trying to give him a little something.
This guy, used to say, you study long, you study wrong. You better figure it out. Because every game that he's healthy, the price go up. Every game he finish that he's healthy, his price can go up mentally. Because you got to remember, he's the one negotiating on his behalf. So every game, the same way Kenny said he's driven, he is driven. And guess what? He full on to have an MVP type season or go on any kind of playoff run.
We all agree on that.
It's not even going to be about performance at that point. I mean, it is, but it ain't. At that point, it's going to be principle because he seems like a principled individual from what I can gather. And y'all going to pay on principle since y'all played.
Hey, Kenny, you see how Ray poked his chest out and talked about my quarterback? He couldn't do that for Carson Wentz, though.
We took care of our quarterback. We traded for our quarterback. Our quarterback knows we want him. Your quarterback don't.
No, your quarterback knows that nobody else in the NFL wanted him. So it was like, you know what? You can go ahead and be the 3rd lead singer for the Commodores. It's going to work. It's going to work for you.
And you heard what Jonathan Allen said after the game. After he threw those 2 picks, I did not have any doubt in my mind he would figure it out. Carson. Yeah, we good.
Even you wasn't even sold on Carson Wentz that week 1.
Travis Kelce's got body slammed.
So what? He's on his 3rd team in 3 years. So what?
What the world?
He's the
got
guy.
Body slammed and fumbled. The ball went into the end zone, and it looks like the Chargers got it. I'm ignoring y'all hate. Y'all are just haters.
I know it.
I'm definitely can't hear the guy in the basement. I got soundproof floors. We can't hear nothing up here. We can't hear nothing up here. Do y'all hear something? I hear. I might hear the muffled sounds of 0-1.
A whole one game.
Or not.
I don't know how we're going to overcome a 1-game lead.
0-1 winless.
A 1-game lead. What was us?
Hey, and let's be clear. The Washington Commanders have the greatest winning percentage of any team ever, because in its history, that team is 100% wins. So we are currently the greatest winning team in the history of the world. Just remember that. So put some respect on the Commanders, who are currently the greatest winning team ever.
Yeah, 1-0 career
Told you,
record.
week 1 champ. Boy, I tell you, week 1 champ.
If that's what you want to hang your hat on, be my guest, my friend.
Kenny, are you going to do the wise thing, or is your pride going to get in the way?
I like it. I see what you did there. Yeah, we're not.
Oh, Patty Mahomes almost threw a pick six. Oh man, he messed that all up.
Damn.
So
look.
You're picking this game is like picking the winner of the toilet bowl. You have the Super Bowl, you have the toilet bowl.
Asante Samuel Jr. should have been a pick six. You dropped that.
So
disappointed.
I mean, you could pick this game, but nobody really cares. So
oh, nobody cares about winners.
We'll go with I'm gonna pick Washington. Washington gonna be 2-0. The team, not the team in the NFC East, because the great Carson Wentz. We know that he's going to finish the season healthy, and we just know he's going to be able to play at a high level all season long. So
I hope you keep that same energy, because we got a game coming up, and I want to hear what you got to say, because we're gonna fool it. You just picked us to be 2-0, so I'm curious to know what you got Dallas being at the end of this week. But we're gonna get
0-2. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, I know.
That's an easy
next
pick.
game. We can we'll skip that game. We'll skip actually the next two games. It's 10-24. We'll jump right to it since we're here. Cincy at Dallas. Kenny, could you care to talk about who you got in that game?
Yeah, Cincinnati. They are gonna be, Joe Burrow struggled through 5 picks did he throw?
He did.
Yeah,
well, he had 5 turnovers. I think it was 4 picks.
Or 5 turnovers, whatever the case was. But they're gonna want to come back with a vengeance, and you're playing against a wounded Cowboys team that's going with an unproven quarterback. So of course, the Bengals. That's an easy pick.
Dev,
picking the Cowboys. It's no brainer. No way I'm taking the Cowboys on that. The Bengals, man. I just think the Bengals just got better players this week. Dallas is beat up. Dallas is Dallas. Jerry Jones gonna get out there and play quarterback this week.
I won't be surprised being on the sidelines this week.
I won't be surprised if he called him plays. He'd be like, "Hey, Mike, hit the night off. Hit the night off. I got this."
So, I am surprised at you, Kenny. I am.
Because I'm.
Do you know who Cincinnati played in Week 1, ladies and gentlemen?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Do you guys know who quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Mitchell Trubisky.
Do you know who won the game between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati?
Kyle Vandenbosch with the field goal, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that kicker name is.
So, I don't know if y'all watched that game, but Joe Burrow was having a time with his new built offensive line. And let me be clear. TJ Watt got hurt. Or that game could have been even more different because he got hurt, I think, and it was toward late. It was at a key point, but he wasn't there at the end of the game. You know who Dallas got? They got this unprofessional guy that's a heck of a defensive end.
Bro, you doing all this setup just to pick the Bengals?
I
Because there's no way in hell that you gonna sit here and telling me that you picking Dallas. You ain't gonna sit here and gas me up.
Slow walking this pick, man. Boy, oh boy.
No, we ain't gonna let you. I ain't even gonna let you keep on beating on Kenny like that, man.
Come on, setting up this long drawn out thing. We heard about 5 points before, and we still ain't heard a pick yet.
You the ultimate King Petty right now.
You, man, slow walking, man. Get to it.
So what I've come to realize is,
oh man,
I think Cincinnati thinks like y'all think. I think the Cowboys have nothing to lose, and everybody's now out on Dallas. And you know what happens when Dallas is down and out and nobody expects anything out of Dallas? When we finally bury them for being the trash team that they are and have been, those jokers rise up and get it done. And I think this week, I would not bet a single penny on Cincinnati.
I knew you was gonna go this route. Petty.
I don't know if y'all watched the 2 games. Kenny said it. The only reason that Tampa game was what it was because of Dallas' defense. I think they'll figure it out. From all reports, I forget the new quarterback, but him and CeeDee Lamb seem to have better rapport.
Cooper Rush.
I think they surprise them. And when we come back on Thursday.
So now Cooper Rush is the savior. Got it.
I ain't say that. I think for this one game, I think at this moment, I think Cincy got issues that they got to fix. And I think they they're just going to get it right because Dallas is without Dak. And I think that's the recipe for disaster. Najee Harris had a pretty good game. Zeke actually looked decent in week 1. I think it'll be a more run-heavy offense, and I think they'll be able to control the clock and win a close game. Because I don't. But
I hope you're right, because I promise you, if you are, one of my partners, Charles Harbin, shout out to my boy Charles Harbin, he's a huge Bengals fan. He will not hear the end of my mouth if we win this game. So I hope you're right.
Remember where you heard it. Next
Ray,
game,
ain't you the same guy that picked Jamar Chase as your top 5 wide receiver, but you don't think he's going to survive Dallas?
It ain't got nothing to do with him. He's probably going to go off. Have 150.
You said Dallas defense was kept them in the game, so you think Dallas defense is going to blanket him?
No. They can't stop him. The only way to stop him is to get the Burrow, which I think they will. But he's still Jamar Chase, and I think T. Higgins might be out. If I remember correctly, I think he's nicked. So they're gonna get the ball in Chase hands, and fast receivers are not Diggs' specialty. Especially shifty and double move, they're gonna probably get him at least. I know they're gonna get him once. The key, hopefully not twice, but he's gonna get got. He can't guard Chase. But I still think just the timing of this, Dallas is gonna get him. Because everybody's picking Cincy. The same way everybody picked Denver and thought Seattle was going to get them. When that happened, stuff happened. But next game, we got the Bears that got it done and kind of dominated San Francisco. Granted, it was Trey Lance in a monsoon. But
a slip and slide. It was playing in the slip and slide.
So take from that what you will. But they get Green Bay. And now, Dev, I'll start with you. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Packers. I think this is where, last year, I'm go off of last year's stats. Aaron Rodgers got embarrassed week 1. Aaron Rodgers came out week 2, lit the lead on fire. I think it's gonna be the same way. I think the Bears really don't have nobody I can really talk about really. Justin Fields played one hell of a game, but other than Justin Fields, who the Bears really can count on, really. And I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to pick that defense apart.
Okay. Packers it is. Kenny, who you got?
Yeah, I agree. I think. Well, I don't think that it's going to be a vintage Aaron Rodgers performance because I still think that they have some issues offensively with those young receivers. Again, that whole chemistry issue. But I think that the trend continues where he, quote unquote, owns these guys. So I don't think anything's going to change. His words.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it changes, and I think that this is one of those, young guard versus old guard type of situation where experience is going to win the day, and Green Bay gets back on track.
Okay. So I think I've been pretty clear on how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I think I've been clear on what I expect from them. And I think that division just got better. I picked the Vikings to come out of that division. I think the Bears are better. I think the Lions are better. We just talked about them. And I think the Packers are worse. And there was nothing that I really saw to lead me to believe that this team's going to get better. Like that 80-yard bomb and drop, that was brutal. Like that's just unfortunate. But you fail to forget, or maybe you do remember or not, the difference between this year and last year is the best receiver in the league, arguably.
Number 17.
That makes it. It's a whole lot easier to win when your division's worse and you got that guy. And Justin Herbert throws a pick at the goal line, and the Chiefs are going to run it all the way back for the touchdown. Herbert throws the pick six at the goal line. Asante Samuel Jr. dropped it at the goal line when he should have had his pick six. And in here, the Chiefs have pick sixed it at the goal line to go up 23-17, awaiting the extra point, which is not guaranteed. But Watson, it looks like he's a rookie. Got the interception here at the goal line. Herbert throws the sidearm. And 7, you got to try and get back, bro. You just stood there. That's not good tape.
Hold off on crowning the young fella just yet.
Hey, you're right. Did not see that coming. So Herbert will get the ball back. But there's been a couple of them. It's a Mark Jackson says a make or miss lead. Sometimes it's a catch or drop lead. Asante Samuel should have had a pick six. He dropped it. Here we didn't. 14-point swings, big deal. And I think Kenny, you had the Chiefs, right? I think we had the Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't write that. I didn't write that down. Oh well. All right, but we remember. The last game. Oh, I got the Bears because I just don't trust the Packers and I think they're gettable. And Kenny, who you got?
I have Green Bay. Me and Dev had Green Bay.
Should have known that. And last but certainly not least, we got Vikings and Eagles. 2-1-0 teams coming in, two pretty good high-powered offenses. A.J. Brown went nuts. Justin Jefferson went nuts. Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders got a nice little running back matchup. Two solid defenses. Pat Peterson, not the same as he used to be, but he's still back there. The Eagles got a number of people on their defense as well. Kenny, who you got?
Man, I'm looking forward to this game. I think this is going to be a battle. You got two really good teams here, and to your point, really complete teams offensively. Just top to bottom, just really well-rounded teams. Unlike when you have a GM that actually knows what they're doing. Sorry, I digress. So I'm like, this is a total toss. I'm gonna be on that horse all season. I'm riding it all the way through. I'm until this guy finds himself. I'm done with this guy. But anyway, let me stay focused. So this is a toss-up for me. This is a pick'em game for me. And I'm going to pick Minnesota. Not with any conviction, because every time you look for Kirk Cousins to step up in a big spot, it seems to come up short. Big surprise, he did come from Washington. Oh, sorry, my bad. So yeah, I'm picking Minnesota. I'm gonna go with the Vikings in a close game.
Dev, who you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings. I don't got no little smart sarcastic stuff. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the Vikings and let y'all two battle this one out.
I would just like to say, for the record, gentlemen, you two pick the same teams for every single game. So I don't know who's dad and whose son over there, but clearly are in agreement. A whole lot. A whole
That's
lot.
it. Swing back, Ray. Swing back. I like it.
I didn't think about it. Well, I'm not even in the middle of it. Not this one. That was all to Kenny. Kenny threw that punch by himself.
Yeah, Kenny's a fighter.
Hey, you got caught in the dirt. That was collateral damage, Dev. You got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah. No. He's into it too. Dev jumped in it. Put his foot in it. He instigated. He got all up in it. You ever been around when somebody instigating, they get dropped too? That's how I go. But speaking of getting dropped, you've used a bunch of fight narratives. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
We got a fight this weekend. We got a fight announcement. We'll start with the fight this weekend, the trilogy. Canelo Alvarez fights Triple G Gennady Golovkin for the third time on the DAZN pay-per-view. Or if you can stream it online, do that free. But we got a fight. It's here. It seems to have snuck up on us. I don't know if it's marketing. I don't know if there's just not as much excitement, but it's here. We got 2 days before they get it in the squared circle, as they say. So I'm gonna start with you, Dev. Give us. We need a prediction.
What? Prediction. All right. Taking Canelo, and I believe it's going to be a knockout.
Ooh.
I believe it's going to be a knockout because I think Canelo is he has to. This one, because this is going to be the last fight between these two, and I think Canelo is like he has to go out on top on this rivalry. So Canelo knockout, 9th round.
All right, y'all heard it here. Canelo with the knockout in the 9th round. I'm a man, Dev. Coach, who you got?
Oh, man. Dev stole my thunder, man. He stole my thunder for real. Because
well, we know who pops then.
Yeah. I could go with the OG kind of making his last stand. But I just think that Canelo's too big and too strong. Like, that's Triple G's MO, is to kind of walk guys down, and he can't walk Canelo down. So I just think it's a bad matchup for him. You know the saying, styles mix fights. So I just think that Canelo's too big, too strong. And I just think that he just doesn't have enough to hold him off. And so I'm not gonna go a knockout. I'm gonna go Canelo in just a 12-round, just a consistent performance where he just continually just punishes and just keeps him, on his heels, and Triple G has to fight off his heels, and he's not able to push forward and walk him down or anything like that. So I can't go. I can't go with the OG, even though of course that would be my age bracket, but I just can't do it. So I'm going Canelo by decision.
All right, we got Canelo by decision. And
You really taking notes.
Getting
hey,
receipts.
we're gonna start. Yeah, we're gonna start holding these people accountable, me included. I say some crazy stuff on here and it don't work out. I got to stand in that. Eat them
You
shots.
say everything. You say a lot of crazy stuff, but you know, we don't.
So in those cases, can we call you Rastradamus when you do that instead of Rastradamus?
I like that one.
I'll embrace that. I'll embrace that. Come on, bring it. I don't know that man. That man won't live on this show. But you can bring whatever you want because Ray Stradamus is here. And Ray Stradamus has something for you, Kenny.
Okay. Just asking. But yeah, what's your pick? What you got?
Canelo's getting him out of there. Canelo, I think, has something to prove after that last Bivol fight where he just got taken apart. People was talking real crazy about him. He got something to prove. Triple G is older. I don't think he can take the punches the way he used to. Canelo did move up, and you know he lasted as much as he could as far as being competitive. But I just think he's a better fighter. He's the bigger fighter. He's the faster fighter. He's the younger fighter. He's the less beaten up fighter. I just think he gets him out of there. I do like the 9th round, Dev. I really do. But I think it might be even earlier than that if he comes out.
Mm.
If he comes out forward, if he steps on the gas early, it'll be over by 7th or 8th. If he kind of take 3 or 4 rounds to wait his way into it, then we're probably looking around that 9-10 round. So I think he'll give a round or two. So I'm gonna call it like you called it. I'm gonna go knockout in the 9th. I think it. Don't want to go knock. I think it's gonna be a TK. I don't think he'll put him down and he won't get up. I don't know if Triple G's pride will allow for that.
So he's gonna go out on the shield. He ain't gonna put him to sleep. He gonna just okay.
But he gonna put him out the pasture. So he ain't gonna put him to sleep. But he gonna go ahead and take that air and move on. And this will be the last one I think we see him.
Is it just me, or is there no buzz about this fight?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's the lack of promotion. I don't know if it's because everybody think Canelo going to just beat the brakes off of him. I don't know if it's.
I just think nobody really. I don't think nobody really care about the third fight like that. I
think that's. I agree.
But I just think Canelo just fought like 4 months ago. The last time we seen Canelo fought, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like now when you see Canelo fight, I'm not gonna say it's not interesting, but it's like, dang, we just seen him a couple months ago versus we won't see like Devin Haney or Tank Davis like a 3 to 4 times a year versus Canelo. We see these 3 times a year.
Yeah, well, Canelo has those. He does that Mexican independence in May, and he kind of uses the Mayweather model where he fights in May and then he fights again in September because those are the 2 big weekends. So he kind of borrowed that blueprint from Floyd.
Oh, okay. Not a bad talk.
Chiefs are driving up 7.5 minutes left. So Kenny, you're looking good, Kenny. You're looking good. We shall see. This is in Arrowhead, so I'm not worried either way. They got to come see us out when the time comes. But I am gonna watch it for what it's worth. I'm definitely gonna make the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Big hubbub, and I'm not knowledgeable enough because to your point, I haven't been on it to know who are some of the undercards.
That's what I'm saying. It's been nothing. No promoting, no press conferences. Like I haven't seen anything.
Honestly, the last time I seen they talked about this fight was months ago. I think when Canelo had his last fight, they might have said like, "Hey, you fighting Triple G again," and that was about it.
That's it.
And you know what, guys? I think it is. I don't think it's necessarily this fight. I think it's the zone.
I was just about to say that. I agree with you.
When I watch Showtime, I'm not going to see the commercial. I'm not going to see the commercial on Fox. I'm not going to see it on ESPN. I'm not going to see it on any of the channels on Sunday. So there's really nowhere for them to advertise. ESPN ain't gonna probably. I guess they would take the money. I'm not sure, but I think that's a lot of it is when you're strictly a streaming service, it's hard to advertise. Like, where the heck are they going to advertise?
That is true. That's true.
Especially when the places you would advertise are your competitors. Like PBC has a lot of the local channels. And Showtime and Fox, they got those two locked down. Yeah. So you make a great point. So I think that could be it because I was looking and I went away from it, but I forgot. I think it's not Robert Easter. Oh no, maybe it's not. I thought I saw that it was someone else. The main card. Yeah. All right, this is taking too long. Okay, so I'll skip it. So we got the announcement, and of course, here it is. I'm looking at it quickly. Jesse Rodriguez, Israel Gonzalez. That's a solid fight. It should be entertaining. I would pick Israel and that. But yeah, the rest of these aren't really big names. No real household names on the rest of the card. So it's kind of a weak card, to be honest, outside of the headliners. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But we finally have a announcement / not announcement. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford agreed to fight on a day and in a city, but not officially because they're still working out the particulars, which makes me a little nervous, but contractually everything's agreed to. So they got a date, which seems kind of soon. I thought they would build it up.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm happy about it, but at the same time, that's a fast turnaround.
At max, you're getting a 6-week camp in.
That means they've been negotiating this thing for a minute.
I'm ready to say camp might have been already in session for them.
Yeah, because these guys have already been training.
Oh, it can't be November 9th. That's the wrong date.
I saw.
No, it was 15th? In the thing I sent y'all. 19th.
November 19th. Yes.
Okay.
So that's like a week. That's almost like a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, about to say that sounds like the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
It is. It's the third Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's in less than 2 months, or it's right at 2 months. So, I mean, it don't matter if whoever you are, if you somebody, you'll be there. I was talking to a girl today because we was just out there, and I was gonna go back before the end of the year. I was gonna go in December, but I said maybe need to adjust my plans. And I asked her, I don't know what kind of seat you think I can get for $500 because that's about all I got.
Hey, I know what type of seat you're gonna get. You're gonna be in the parking lot. That's where you're gonna be at.
You can get a seat at a sports bar, maybe. That's about it.
So we'll see. If not, we'll probably have a party here or not. But I feel like that. On one hand, I feel like this is going to be kind of an event of our time. On the other hand, I feel like this could just turn into they'll fight each other 2 more times after this. So I'll be curious to see because even if they lose, unless it's just grossly non-competitive. Quick update: Justin Herbert is down on his back, holding his chest. They're out there looking at him. Looks like he got tackled and he got taken to the ground, landed on his butt. Hit his head a little bit. It doesn't seem like it should be that bad, and then he didn't land on him. Yeah, he didn't land on him, so I think he'll be all right. But he is still down. So concern for Chargers fans, me, considering I picked them on the Super Bowl. So hopefully everything works out.
Hold on. We're not going to just slide past that. Did this man just say he is a Chargers fan?
I picked him to win the Super Bowl.
He picked him to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
No, I said we fan, but I'm only a fan because I picked him to win. I'm not a real fan.
Okay. Just making sure.
You ain't gonna see me no Chargers.
Anytime you say we,
I'm not like some other people that just jump ship and do all that funny business. I like teams, but I don't do that. I'm I'm loyal even if I haven't seen us win a championship. Still loyal, still repping. But yeah, what do y'all think?
As you've
Is it
embraced the
happen?
facts.
I hope it happens. Like, sheesh, boy, I'm tired of playing this guess who game. Is we gonna get it before the year? Is we gonna get the start of the year? Like, I hope that, because like I said, I've seen it. It said that, like, the lawyers is in there trying to get the deal done. So hopefully the lawyers don't be like, I don't like this one word, so we ain't gonna do the fight. Back the fight out. So that's what I'm hoping for. So if it goes down, man, I know I'm gonna be tuned in.
Without
Popcorn
question.
ready, everything
Without
set
question.
up and everything. You know what I mean? This is gonna be the fight that for all
Hey, man.
ages. It just
Hey, this is a
just
great
can't
kickoff
wait.
to Thanksgiving. If this is how if this the date that they're going with, this would be a great kickoff to Thanksgiving week.
Mhm.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I ain't picking my winner yet though.
What
So
you mean
don't
you
ask
picking
that
up?
question.
How
Don't
you
try
ain't
to think.
picking up?
We already
I don't
we
want you
had
to be like,
already
so who
kind of
y'all think who if it goes down, who you riding with?
we had already
I mean,
talked
we're
about
gonna
this
wait till it
before.
get
We
closer
made
to
some
pick,
preliminary. Yeah,
but
we'll make our official picks, but I think we did make some preliminary picks because when the fight was being discussed, we definitely did.
I had E. Spence. I got E. Spence. I don't think
I
Terrence
think I
is
chose.
saying nobody like this man.
I think I chose Crawford. If we did,
I think you're right. I
Yeah,
think
like
I
I
was on the island again. I believe.
yeah. Because I think Bud has a little more in his bag in terms of being able to switch from lefty to righty. So I think if this is a chess match, I think he got a little more in terms of being able to make adjustments mid-fight. So I can't wait to see it though.
yeah.
So 2 questions for both of y'all. First question is, who do you think is going to be the bigger man on fight night?
Oh man, I think it's going to be Spence.
I do
I
too.
think it's going to be Spence.
I think
I've seen. He
did.
said he walks around at like sometimes at like 180.
Yeah.
I think I saw him on All the Smoke where he was talking about that. He can really get up there in terms of weight. So I definitely think he's going to be bigger.
Herbert is down again. He's getting banged up, ladies and gentlemen. This Chiefs rush is definitely getting to him. And he tries to lead this touchdown.
We stay here and talk about the Chargers pass rush, and the Chiefs is the one that turned it up.
That's something.
Yeah. I've been trying to watch, but I haven't really seen Khalil Mack do much. I haven't checked the box score. I could have missed it, obviously, but I haven't
Khalil
seen.
Mack ain't really been doing that since the first half.
Pat Mahomes has been on the run some. He did take a shot or two, but his jersey and Herbert almost threw another pick. That was a terrible decision. What are you looking at?
He hurt. When you hurt and fatigue, boy, you just trying to get out the game.
I don't know, man. He might not have that dog in him. I don't know. I'm not liking what I'm saying. I'm just gotta call it like I see it. This is a port. What are you looking at? The freak. All right. So the other question for y'all is: so Dev? I'm sorry, Kenny. You said you think Spence will be the bigger man fight night. Dev, who you think?
Mm-hmm.
I think Crawford might be the bigger name. Ain't Crawford a little bit younger than
Yeah, I think he's like.
Spence?
Is he?
I thought Crawford was older.
older.
Yeah, I think Crawford's like 34.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
But I think Crawford probably be the bigger name that night. I think that name won't be pretty much equal when you read, like when you talk about them. But as far as that extra
Yeah, Crawford is 34 and Spence is 32.
And
okay.
Really, Crawford's 35 because his birthday is in like 2 weeks.
Edwards Hilaire is loose. He's loose.
Let's go.
Do y'all see Edwards Hilaire helmet? Like his helmet looks a little. His face mask looks funny.
Yeah, this is different.
Points. Fly, let's
there's a
go.
flag on the play. Let's see what it
Oh
is.
man.
And personal foul, face mask, defense. So they'll add 15
Okay.
to the run.
Okay, we'll take that.
Or
We'll take
half the
that.
distance. I can't hear it. But they're going to add that on.
Because he ain't been doing nothing up until this point. So
he's caught a couple passes, but yeah, it's been a quiet night. I'm playing him as well. So my
Just in case
question
next week, guys, everybody don't know. Next week is going to be back on Prime. Thursday night football will be back on Prime next week. So y'all won't be looking and scrambling, looking for the game next week. It's going to be on Prime. Y'all heard it from us first.
Is it the whole season that's going to be on Prime, or is they switching it over to Fox at some point?
I don't know. I just know next week.
That's why they paid Joe Buck and Herb Street all that money, and they got Tony Gonzalez.
Week one was on Fox. Oh no, that was on NBC.
Yeah.
That was
definitely on NBC.
That was kickoff.
Yeah. So
Thursday night.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Streaming is it's here to stay. We're gonna have to adapt.
It ain't going nowhere, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
But
you can get down, lay down.
Netflix is having a time. But the other question I had is, who do you guys think is the bigger puncher?
I think Spence is the bigger puncher. Yeah, I think Spence is the bigger puncher. I think Crawford is more of the boxer. And I think that Spencer is more I think he has more power. I think Crawford wears people down as opposed to just having that game changer in terms of just catching you and being able to put you out. I think Spence if he catches you, he could put you out.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Kenny. Spence is the bigger. I think Spence is the bigger puncher. I think he throws more power punches than Crawford anyway. So yeah, I think Spence is the bigger puncher.
Okay. So Spence will be bigger, and he's the bigger puncher, but y'all going Crawford. Interesting. I guess we will have to wait and see.
Well, at least we haven't making our final picks. This is just us talking.
Yeah.
Things could change. Things could change.
And then we're gonna get out of here with this. I wish I had it, but I don't have it.
What a shot!
I can get it pretty quick here for you guys. I want to know who's to blame for this. For those of you who don't know, Jay-Z is like the head of sports or fashion at Puma.
Creative director. Yes, sir.
Yeah, creative director. Thank you. And in that, he had Kyle Kuzma walk the red carpet, or not the red carpet, sorry, the runway at Fashion Week. And let's see if I can get it for you as best I can. Apologize.
But was that Jay-Z? Was it the sneakers, or that wasn't a Puma outfit though, was it?
That was a Puma jacket. That was like a Puma flight coat.
That is a Puma outfit. It was Puma's show at Fashion Week. His girlfriend Winnie Harlow was there. And there was actually a lot of other celebrities, and I think it might have been another athlete or two that walked it as well. But they obviously did not have leave the impression that Kyle Kuzma did. So
it's all you, my friend. This is your guy.
Yeah. He ain't on the Lakers no more.
here's my thing. I like it for this main reason. I think whatever that thing is, it's atrocious. I'd never wear it. But I think that speaks to who he is as a person. And I need that if you're going to be trying to lead my team. I need that kind of demeanor that I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to stand and be in who I am, be comfortable in me, and not be so easily swayed. He's his own man. He's his own thinker. I respect that. I hope he's putting in time in the gym, like Russell Westbrook was at Fashion Week. I saw he was getting 2-a-days with Chris Brinkley. I'm sorry, however you say that. So, yeah, I think I'm all right with it. I wouldn't wear it, but, I respect the man for doing it and setting up his next career. Dwayne Wade just left TNT to go somewhere else. We got athletes joining media. We're not waiting to the end of our careers. He seems to be in the fashion, and that's the place to be. So I'm good with it. Dev?
I don't have no ill will with it, man. People do what they do when they ain't hooping or whatever. You know what I mean? Some people in the fashion, some people in the hiking, skydiving. You know what I mean? So it's just like whatever your hobby is, that's your hobby. And obviously he's in the fashion. Like you said, I wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't be the one that could put that on and be like, look at me, guys. Look what I got. I got this Puma on. You know what I mean? It's just, nah. But, to each his own. You know what I mean? That's what's up. That he's comfortable in his own skin to be him. You know what I mean? Some people probably going to look at it as, oh, Kyle Kuzma was wearing a dress. Some people is going to look at it as, Kyle Kuzma was in the hottest fashion. However you want to look at it, whatever world that you in. But that's what's up. You know what I mean? Because it's cool that these guys can go ahead and start trying to find another career path for them. Doing their career now. These guys who nonstop, and for you to be like, hey, look, I got other passion. Because we don't get on some of these basketball players that's rappers. Dame be spitting when on his off time, and what's his name? Bagley be out there spitting, and so that's what's up. That's just pretty much it. That's what's up for Kyle Kuzma. Hopefully he can get a career and being a model when he's done hooping.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You try and turn it into whatever that next phase of your career is. So I'm definitely good with that. Kenny, the New York guy, it was at New York Fashion Week. So
hey, I'll be quick. This is, we live in a day and time where we draw attention to ourselves, or we do things to go viral. And I think if that's what his goal was, then mission accomplished. So, like Dev said, to each his own. And do you, my man? Wouldn't be me, but do you?
Understand. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our episode. Something is wrong with Justin Herbert. I don't know if y'all watching, but something wrong with his arm or his hand. He's holding his ribs or something every time. Well, I guess we'll wait for the post-game report. So something's definitely wrong with Justin Herbert. So we'll obviously give you what we got. Check ASAP in the morning and some of the other ASAP shows. I'm sure they'll be covering that. He just threw a laser. Oh, on 4th and 1, Herbert guts it out with the laser beam down to the 5.
He ain't there.
Yeah, 2 minute right before the 2-minute warning. So 10-point game. We got ourselves a ball game. Everyone enjoy on Amazon Prime if you have it. If you don't, go get it and cancel after the game or something. But enjoy, and we will catch y'all next Monday.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.